everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. For those of us joining us for the first time, my name is Stella. You are welcome to Sew with Stella. For today's tutorial, I'm going to teach us how to make a corset. We will be drafting a corset pattern. I'm actually going to make 3 videos on 3 methods on how to draft your corset pattern. So that's that. Without wasting much of our time, let's move over to the video. So what I'm going to do is just to take note of my vertical and horizontal measurement. This is I'm going to be using here this here as my um okay, let me go ahead and just draw it just a little bit line. That's for my starting point. It's going to be here, somewhere here. So this is basically my starting point. So from my shoulder, it can also be called shoulder line. So from my shoulder to my bust point is 10. From my shoulder to my under bust is 13.5. From my shoulder to my waist is 16.5. Then from my shoulder um to my hip, depending on where you want your corset to stop, depending on where you want it to be, depending on the style you are making. So that's that. It's from my shoulder to my hip is 24. Take note that if you are going to attach a peplum to it, you stop at your waist. So like I said earlier, it depends on the style that you are making. So I'll go ahead and also take note of same measurements. That's from my shoulder to my 10, 13.5, 16.5, and 24. I just want to have a straight line. A straight line. Then for the shoulder, my shoulder is 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'm going to mark 7.5 here, 7.5 here. And to get the slope, we don't actually really need this, but it depending on the style you are making, let me not say it, depending on the style you are making. So if it's a tube, you don't really need this up this place. So this is just for the shoulder slants. And then for my upper bust, if you're following my videos, you should know how I was able to achieve as in get this 7.5. That's my bust. 36 divided by 6 is 6 plus 1.5 is 7.5. So which is here. So if I'm to mark it here, I'm going to mark 8.5 because I might not one here. So just watch my previous video on how to draft your basic bodice pattern. You understand it very, very well. So what I'm going to do is just to bring this down 7.5 to have a straight line. Where do you want your corset to start from? So that's the line I'm going to take note here. For me, I want mine to start somewhere. I'm going to use 7 inches. At least it's a moderate. It's a moderate place. It's not going to show my cleavage. 7 inch. So I'll connect. I hope you understand all this line I drew. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I'm going to answer you. Like I said earlier, this is my shoulder line. This is where I want my corset to start. This is the chest line. This is the bust line. This is the under bust line, and this is the waistline. And then this is the hip line. So that's that. So what I'm going to do is my bust span is 7.5. 7.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.75. So I'm going to note it here 3.75. And I'm also going to note it here 3.75. The next thing I'm going to do is to, go ahead and connect it to a straight line. Oh, yes, like this. So what I'm going to do next is to take my darts. For my darts, I'm going to come to my under bust and I'm going to take 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch on both sides. On the waist, 1 inch on both sides. On the hip, I'm going to come up by 2 inch. Then I'll connect them. So I'm going to take note of this, my bust point. So my bust point to my under bust is 3.5. 3.5. I'm going to mark it round. I'm going to mark it round. So after marking it round, this is what I have. So the next I'm going to do is, let me take my dart for this. Here, I'm going to also mark 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch on both sides. And then connect it. For this one now, I'm going to bring it here. You see it? And then this one too, I'm going to connect. I'll do the same here and here. You can see it. So what I'm going to do next is, on my bust line, I'm going to come up by 2. I'm going to come up by 2. It depends on how deep you want, or how deep or how high you want yours to be. I'll come up by 2 inch, then I'll go in by 0.5. This is the center of our corset. Take note, this is the center of our corset. And then I'm going to mark 0.5, and I'll also note 0.5 here. This is just a guideline in drawing my curve. Then the next is, I'm going to connect this to this. You can see it. I've connected this to this. So the next is, on this side, I'm going to um come out by 0.5 inch. This is because our bust this side is fuller compared to this side. So that's why I'm going to add a 0.5. That's after this point. After this point, I'm going to mark 0.5, which is somewhere, okay, 0.5, which is somewhere here. That's, let's say our dot is here. You see it, 0.5, which is somewhere here. So I'm going to connect this to this. You You can see it. So the next is just to connect, draw a straight line to connect this to the chest line. So that's that. So the next is to connect this to this, connect this to this. And then this to this. So I'll just go ahead and connect the line. So after connecting the line, try as much as possible to smoothen out every sharp edge, both at the bust point, wherever there is any sharp edge, try as much as possible to smoothen it out. So the next thing is to take my measurement. My measurement for my bust is 36. 36 divided by 4 is going to give me 9. I'm going to mark 9. Then I'm going to measure that will be cut off. When I measured it, is about 0.75 inch plus 0.5 inch I'm going to use to add the dart, which is a total of 1.25. I'll also mark it. Then for my underbust is 33. 33 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.25. I'm going to mark the 8.25 plus that 2 inch that we are going to cut off plus 0.5 inch that we are going to use to add the dart, which is a total of 2.5 inch. I omitted that of the waist, so go ahead and calculate for your waist and do the needful. Then for the hip, my hip is 40. 40 divided by 4 it's 10. Take note that the dart did not extend towards the hip. So I'll just go ahead and connect the dots. Just go ahead and connect the dots. Please, before I go ahead and cut, there's something I want us to take note. Please try as much as possible to label it, so that it does not confuse you. Label it. You can just say here one and here two. Make sure you label it, because if you do not label it, it might confuse you. Honestly, it might, confuse you. So that's that. So I'll go ahead and cut. I have to add something before I go ahead and cut. I have to add something, just in case you want your corset to have a slant. You know, if you don't want it to just all look all that straight, stuff like that. What you do is here, you can come up by 2 or 1.5. Let me use 1.5 here. Then you can just go ahead and slant it. Just slant it. If you don't want it to look all that straight, you just want it to be a little bit slant. Okay, so you just go ahead and slant it. So after that, let me just go ahead to go on with the cutting. So you can see our corset is ready. You can see how beautiful it is. So basically, for the back panel, this is my shoulder line, my chest line, my waistline, and my hip line. I don't really need the we don't really need the bust line here. So that's that. So I will also go, and also here it's the zip allowance. Here's the zip allowance. So um my bust span is 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.75, which I'm going to take note of here. 3.75, and also here 3.75. I'll just go ahead, connect it. So after drawing the line for the dart, I'm going to take in half inch on both sides, half inch on both sides. So I'm going to connect. Remember that we are going to come up here by 2 inch, by 2 inch. So that's that. So you just go ahead and connect. Then after that, you take your measurements. Your my bust is 36. 36 divided by 4 is going to give me 9. This is the 9. I'm going to mark it here. Take note that I didn't start here. I started here. Here, 9. So my waist is 32. 32 divided by 4 is going to give me 8. It's going to give me 8. 8 plus this 1 inch for the dart. Yeah, I'm going to have 9, which is 9. My hip is 40. 40 divided by 4 is going to give me 10. 10. So I'll go ahead and connect it. This is the correct one. So after that, remember that at the front panel, we came up by 2. Like I told you earlier, you can either use 1, 1.5, or 2, depending on what you want. But for the front panel, we use 1.5. So I'll be coming up by 1.5. Because I wanted to make it somehow slant. I want it to be in a slant form. So we are also going to repeat same for the back panel. So that's that. You go ahead and connect. So after you are done with that, you can go ahead and freestyle. By freestyling, I mean like depending on how you want yours to be. If you want your back to be V-neck or curve, it all depends on what you want. Okay, example, I want it to be just a little bit curve at the back also. I can decide to come down by 1, by 2, by half, depending on how low you want it. But for this tutorial, I'm going to use 1. So I'm going to make it like this. You can see the way the back is looking. So depending on the style you are making, so you just go ahead and cut. So as you can see, our pattern is ready. You can see how beautiful it looks. You can see how beautiful it looks on paper. Imagine how it's going to look on the fabric. So do not forget, when drafting your pattern, don't forget to label. It's very, very important. If not, it's going to confuse you. You won't know which is which. So that's that. And when cutting on your fabric, do not forget to notch. Do not forget to notch, and also add your seam allowance. Add your seam allowance. Remember, we didn't add the seam allowance. So that's that. I'll go ahead and upload 2 more videos on 2 other methods on how to cut your corset. So do well to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. So like on your way next time with another interesting video. Do have a lovely, lovely day. Bye bye.